Welcome back to another live and amplified indie fusion podcast. I'm your host, Tom Quiet, and we're back at it again with another amazing podcast right in the middle of our pancreatic cancer action network fundraiser podcast marathon stream. All the words, a lot of long titles. But we have our next guest joining us. We have Dzaki Sukarno. Almost got it that time. But how's it going today, man?
I'm doing good, man. It's been a long travel day, but I'm excited to be on here with you again.
Excited to have you here. It's we connected at CMA Fest, both having ties to the Southeast New Mexico, and that's I've always been trying to find a way to get you back on, and I'm glad we got you on today.
I know, I'm excited. I wish I could have been there in Roswell with you this time around, but I'm glad that we got to at least talk here
Yeah,
over the phone.
yeah. We'll be actually. So I'm in Texas now, but I will be in Roswell in about 3 weeks. So I'm excited for that
Heck yeah.
trip. Right after Thanksgiving, we're going to Tucson. So I got to drive through Roswell, and we're doing a live podcast at a brewery out in Tucson. So,
Oh, that'd be pretty freaking awesome.
yeah. So excited about that, and get to drive through the great southern part of New Mexico.
My home.
Yes. So how's everything been going? You just released a new song. Was it a couple weeks ago?
Yes, I released a cover of one of my favorite artists growing up was Freddie Fender, and I released one of his songs called Before the Next Teardrop Falls. I kind of broke it down to just acoustic and steel, and just released a couple of weeks ago. And so it's been really, really fun.
Nice. And how long has that kind of been sitting on the back burner for you?
It's been sitting on the back burner for a while, and a couple months ago, I decided to go back to Nashville, take some meetings and such, and this was kind of a group project with me and my friends. We're like, you know what? Let's record this. It's one of my favorite songs. Let's just do it. Let's have some fun with it and bring in people that I am really close with and make the song happen. So I had my guitar player, Alex Keller, on guitar on there. And then I had my buddy Matt who plays steel, and he's from New Mexico as well. But he's at the time was serving in the Navy. And we decided, let's just cut this song. Let's have some fun with it. And that's the little child of it all.
Nice. That's really cool. How does it feel to kind of be back in New Mexico full time now?
Truthfully, it's been so much fun. It's nice being able to pick my brain a little bit more. I feel like when I was in Nashville, it was just very shitty, and it's not what I'm used to, really. Growing up in Las Cruces, it's such a small town that I remember growing up as a kid, I had so many different things that can inspire me to write different songs. And now being back home, it's definitely taken a really, really big toll on my mental health in a positive way, and it's opened up some more ideas on my writing style and what I want to write.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's Las Cruces is a cool town. In a lot of ways, Las Cruces and Las Cruces and Nashville are very similar, both having big college town presence. But the
Yes.
difference between Nashville and Las Cruces is Las Cruces, when school's out, the city population drops by like what 2/3 or something like that. But
100%, yeah. Once those kids from New Mexico State are gone, it's kind of just those families and such who are from Las Cruces itself.
So that's really cool that you're kind of back to your roots and just kind of doing music for the love of it,
Exactly.
So how's the response been to the new release?
I think it's been pretty well. Of course, releasing music nowadays is very, very difficult, but all the fans that I've had and they've been supporting through it all, it's been really, really great to see all the different feedback I've gotten from the song itself.
Cool. Is there plans to kind of continue doing more covers or tributes, or are you going to kind of get back on the original, releasing originals?
So I'm going to be releasing a whole bunch of originals next year. This year was kind of like my reset year where I can just focus on my writing and focus on coming back home. Really was the biggest thing from Nashville and just readjusting to everything. But in this little pause of releasing brand new songs that we've written a lot of amazing, amazing songs that I'm really, really proud of. And I'm very grateful for the writers, which are my close friends, that we get to do this together and grow this little song into a full-blown song that we can release. So I'm really, really excited for the next couple months.
Nice. Now, now that you're back in New Mexico, are you going back out to Nashville to like record, or is there a spot in Las Cruces that you go to?
So I still go record up in Nashville.
Mhm.
So whenever I get the chance, the goal is to be there at least every other month or at least once time a month, just to
Mhm.
make sure I still keep my presence in the Nashville area itself. Um, but the plan is to come back here in a month or two and get back onto the recording grind, but also getting my co-writes in and just doing as much as I can while I'm there.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. It's and I think that's kind of the healthy way to go about it right now, especially when you live so far away from Nashville and your family's still in your hometown. Having that support there, but then still having the presence in Nashville is, I feel like that's a healthy balance.
I think so too. I realized that when I was living there, I wasn't the same me as I was when I was living in Las Cruces. I wasn't as happy, truthfully. And moving back home has really changed that whole entire mindset of it all. And I really want to chase music even more, truthfully.
Nice. All right, how's the gigs going in Las Cruces? Are you playing pretty consistently, or are you having to travel out a little bit?
Travel out a little bit, to be
Hmm.
honest. So, like right now, I'm currently in Houston, Texas, and I'm playing a show tomorrow. And then the following weekend, playing a show with William Beckman in El Paso, Texas. So, still get to travel, which I love. Um, but not as many shows here in Las Cruces. Hopefully, that can change here in the near future,
Yeah.
but we'll see.
Yeah. Well, shoot, we really could have done this in person because Houston's about 3 hours from me, I think.
Yeah,
So
for real.
it's. I was waiting for you to say Dallas because the TCMA awards are this weekend up in Dallas at Billy Bob's,
Absolutely.
and I was waiting for you to say, "Oh, I'm up in Dallas," and I was like, "Well, I'll see you there Sunday, probably." So yeah,
Shoot, I didn't even know about it, or else I would have gone. That would be freaking
yeah,
awesome.
yeah. No, that's really cool. I'm glad. I guess it's fortunate, unfortunate that you have to still go out and travel a little bit to do shows. Because one thing I love about New Mexico is they do have a really thriving independent scene,
It does.
but there's only so many places you can play, and
Exactly.
unless you're willing to travel up to Albuquerque I guess for you it'd probably be down to El Paso. Is the El Paso scene pretty good or?
I haven't really ventured out into there too much. This is going to be my first shows in El Paso
Mm,
itself, and I'm looking forward to see how the market is and how people will react to the music that I play.
gotcha. Yeah, it should be like I've been to El Paso, obviously living in Roswell. I've been to El Paso a couple times, but I never really got a chance to check out the scene, like any venues
Yeah.
or anything like that. But it should be good. Like I feel like it's a tourist, a little bit more touristy than people think. So
Yeah, I agree with that.
yeah. Um. So around once you get back to Las Cruces, what's the plan for the rest of the year? Are you just focusing on shows or the music, or like what's kind of the plan?
So the next 2 months, really. So November, December, I'm taking a break from a little bit of the shows just to focus on my writing.
Hmm.
That's what I've been kind of focused on the last couple months is just my writing and making sure that that is strong. I feel like a good song can go a long way. And that's one of my biggest goals is to make sure that I'm well rounded as an artist, not just in my singing capabilities, but also
Hmm.
my writing skills and how I perform in general as well. So, been focusing a lot on my writing, and we have a couple of shows booked up for December. But hopefully, we get to hit it hard in the following year.
Yeah. Are you are you doing a lot of festivals, or is it like just base or not basic shows, but just like shows?
A little bit of both. Like here and there, we'll play some festivals. Um, I've noticed that this year has been a really tough year for booking in general. So we've been playing a lot of private shows and mostly acoustic shows. Truthfully, not a
Hmm.
lot of full band stuff this year, but those acoustic shows have really helped me a lot because it's been helping with my guitar picking skills
Yeah.
and it's been helping me grow in that sense. So it's been beneficial this year for sure as well.
Nice. And is obviously the focus would be, I take it then on like full band gigs. Is that kind of where you really want it to be?
Yes, sir. I would love to play more full band shows in the next year and just focus on that and grind it out.
Nice. What's the makeup of your? Do you have a consistent band, or is it just kind of whoever's available on whatever day?
So I have a consistent band that I play with. I have a drummer, guitar player, and a bass player, and then I have my Nashville band as well that I play with here and there whenever I can. But I recently started another band here in my hometown of Las Cruces, and it's been so much fun learning with them and just growing together as a band itself. We're still looking for a steel player. Steel players are very hard to come by nowadays, and fiddle
Yeah,
players where I live. So hopefully we can get a new player here soon next year.
yeah. I Who was I talking to? I feel like it was somewhere up like near Redoso. There seems to be a lot of like steel players and stuff like that.
There's some steel players in Roswell
Yeah,
and Ruidoso. You have a lot of those um, cover band bars. That you can play with,
yeah,
similar to Nashville. I feel like Ruidoso is kind of like the Nashville of New Mexico in that
yeah,
sense. It's a small town where there's a lot of tourists, and almost every single bar there has a live band that you can go play listen to. And I remember when I first started my music career, I would play in Ruidoso almost every single weekend.
yeah,
There's a spot called Win Place and Show, and I play with them all the time. They had a steel player and a whole bunch of other folks as well. So it was always a fun time.
yeah, for sure, for sure. It's your camera shut off again. But no, it Redoso's got a like I really like Redoso. If I were to ever move back to New Mexico, I think I'd give Redoso a look. But then again, you got to deal with like actual Four Seasons up in Redoso, and it's like,
Oh yes,
I'm kind of good
yes.
on that. So,
It just snowed last night, and it threw me off completely.
right, I saw that. So I work for a TV station, and they were asking about if anybody had footage of Amarillo and like northeast New Mexico, like Santa Fe, that area, if they had any video of like the snowstorm that came through. And I was like, wait a minute, there was snow, but then again, that far north, there probably it actually makes sense that there would be. So
Yeah, I have a friend who lives in Springer, New Mexico, and they got like 2 feet of snow up there last night.
sheesh. That
So
sounds unbearable to me. Like
yeah,
I'm
it
good.
sounds pretty cool to me. So
Yeah. I
thank
just
God I'm on the south end of
right.
New Mexico.
Right. I'm glad in a few weeks when I'm traveling through, it's like, okay, we're going to skirt right through all that. We're going to be south and hopefully not have to worry about it. So, yeah.
Amen to that.
Yeah. So outside of music, what have you been getting into recently?
Honestly, spending some time with my family is one of the biggest things. Being back home in New Mexico, it's been nice being able to spend some time with my family. Um, I recently got a puppy a couple months ago, so now the house isn't as lonely anymore, having a
Yeah.
puppy around the house. And my mom got a puppy around the same time as well. So hanging out with them. And when I'm not playing shows, I work at like a tire shop in town just to get
Yes.
my mind straight, get some ideas going and such. And also at the tire shop, they play so many different types of music that it's been giving me a lot of different inspirations on what kind of songs to write.
Oh, for sure. It's really interesting how much a routine will kind of inspire you, like just kind
It
of
really does.
help you with your creative process, especially if it's a job where it's like, okay, you have a task, or you're going there to change tires or whatever it is, and then you can kind of just turn whatever you don't need off, and then just let the creative process kind of unfold.
No, exactly, exactly.
So, is how long have you been doing that? That's something that you just started doing once you got back to Las Cruces?
Yes, so I started doing this. I want to say maybe like 3 or 4 months ago,
Mm-hmm.
and it's been super fun. Truthfully, a lot of my coworkers don't like the job, but I'm here for it. It
Right.
gets me out of the house and just gets me out of that mindset of music. I mean, like I know I've talked to a lot of my friends who do music as well. Like when you are in the music industry, all you really think about is just music.
Mm-hmm.
What's the next song? What's the next show? What can I do to keep growing? And sometimes it honestly gets depressing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very grateful that I did get this job here at Discount Tire and just slicking
Yeah.
tires, and
Right.
really helps with my mental health, and it helps me focus on music aspect as well.
Right. I feel like it helps you compartmentalize and not make the music industry such a grind. Because if that's all you got
Yes.
to focus on, it's like it definitely becomes like, oh, I got to do this shit. Okay, let's go. Yeah.
No, exactly. And it starts to get depressing in the sense where like all your whole life just revolves around music and
Mm.
that's it. And I love that. Don't get me wrong. I love the grind, but I want to feel human sometimes and just
Yeah.
have that grounding that makes it worth it even more,
Yeah.
you
I,
know?
I I have a feeling. Have you ever heard of there's this musician? His name was Rodrigo, I want to say,
Hmm.
and they made basically he was a musician back in like the 70s or 80s, and he was like a local musician in like in Louisiana or Mississippi, somewhere in that ballpark, and his music became an inspiration for the revolution in South Africa.
Really?
Yeah, and he had no idea. He had like quit music and just kind of went on to his doing his day job. I think he was like a mechanic or something. And then there's this documentary film crew that wanted to go find this musician, and they show up at he's just working a regular job, and they're like, no, you're like a superstar in South Africa.
Wow,
And
that's
so
great.
they document the entire process. They take him over to South Africa, and it's like, oh, okay. And yeah, so it was that, just listening to you tell that story, I don't know why that reminded me of that, but yeah,
That's pretty dang cool, though. Not gonna lie.
yeah. Um, so kind of looking forward, obviously you're in Houston tonight and you said you're going to El Paso next weekend.
Yes, sir. Next Saturday, I'm playing
Yeah.
out there.
What are you playing at? Is it a private gig or is it at a venue?
It's at a venue called Lowbrow Palace, and I'll be opening for William Beckman.
Oh, nice, nice, nice. Um, and then as far as like the new music, have you settled on any like release dates or anything?
There, I haven't settled on specific release dates just yet, just because lately we've been writing, and I'll write another song. I'm like, oh shoot, maybe I can add this one into the lineup. So it's just picking and choosing which songs and releasing them at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, is the hardest part, really.
For sure. Are you looking at possibly doing like a bigger project, or do you see yourself doing like singles?
A little bit of both. I'm thinking of doing some sort of EP here down the line again, but kind of waterfalling the songs out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Waterfalling is like a really cool technique because I think it really gives you the opportunity to have the best of both worlds, where it's like you're still feeding the singles algorithm that Spotify seems to reward, but you're also having the ability of putting out a full body of work.
Exactly.
So that was a genius add-on, or whoever at Spotify came up with that one.
No, I
Genius.
agree. I agree.
So
So that's the plan for next year, is kind of just waterfalling everything.
cool, cool, cool. And then when you're not working at the tire shop, have you picked up any hobbies or other than music? Because I guess hobbies are like, I guess music could be a hobby to a lot of people, but
Yeah, so what I do on my free time is take care of my chickens. I
mhm,
got chickens at the house, and and being a first-time homeowner has been really hectic to say the least, but I
yeah,
realized that I really love doing projects around the house.
fair.
So just fixing up the houses, like patching walls, putting up decorations, and finding things that really inspire me inside of the house as well. So when I'm at the house, I'm like, okay, that's a cool painting, or that's a cool piece of art.
Yeah,
Let's write something, you know?
nice.
So focusing on that, really, I want to get back into playing hockey again in El Paso. I'd
Mm,
love to do that again. Just I'm not in the best shape as I was 2 years ago.
yeah,
I was still in college, so gotta get back on the grind again.
fair. Where'd you go to school at?
I went to school here in Las Cruces, so at New Mexico State
Okay,
University.
gotcha.
Um,
You said El Paso, and I was like, wait, did you go to UTEP and not
oh
go
no,
to?
thank God. I'm sorry, but picks down any day of the week.
Fair, fair, fair. I don't know. You said El Paso, and I was like, why wouldn't you just go to New Mexico State? Why would you go to UTEP? That makes no sense to me, but
No,
whatever.
yeah. I would go every single week and go play hockey at the Rhino Stadium just to keep in shape while I was
Mhm.
still in the ROTC program at New Mexico State, just so I can
Yeah,
keep my athleticism and just do things really, get out of the
yeah,
house.
yeah, for sure, for sure. What's what's your I was gonna ask what's your go-to burrito at Allsips, but I don't. Yeah,
Ooh,
yeah.
that's a good freaking question. So my go-to burrito is probably just the regular green chili cheese burrito. Those
Hmm.
are my go-to at all
Yeah,
subs. If not, I always get like that bean and cheese for some reason. That always
really.
hits different.
Yeah,
But then my stomach retaliates a couple hours
right,
later in the bathroom.
right. I don't get it. Anytime I go to Allsips, I don't always get a burrito, but if they have a steak and cheese burrito, like
Yes.
it's super rare. They don't always have it. Like you've got to
Yes.
almost special order it. But when I'm traveling through town, it's like I'm not going to wait 10 minutes for a steak and cheese all sips burrito. It's not that
No, I
important.
agree. I agree with that.
So yeah. But if they have them ready to go, look out.
I agree. That is a good one. I completely forgot about that one, but I agree with you. It's just
Yeah.
never there.
Yeah. And I had it one time and then they snuck it, not snuck in, but there was like Hatch green chilies in it, and I was like, "Ooh, that takes it up a notch." That was a pleasant surprise.
That is a pleasant surprise. Yes.
Yeah. I feel like they've got a bunch of random ones that they like if they have them in stock, they just kind of like, yeah, that's what we're gonna do today. So
Yep. That's
nice.
exactly what they do.
Yeah. But I don't want to keep you here too much longer because I know you got a busy weekend ahead of you. But if anybody wants to check out your music and all that fun stuff, where's the best place to find you?
Best place to find me is on TikTok, Instagram, Spotify, you name it. It's just under Dzaki Sukarno, and that's Dzaki, and Sukarno is Sukarno.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thanks, man. Really appreciate your time. It was a great hanging with you. Thank you everybody for tuning in, and we'll be back in just a little bit.